What's going on, traders? We got a lot to talk about in this video, but before we start, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So today was really interesting to me, and it wasn't interesting based off the movement that we got, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. It was more so the lack of movement we got. Now, granted, Bitcoin went up. That's great. Some stocks went up, but majority of any movement we got to the upside in regards to the futures, SPY, or Qs pretty much led to nothing. And that's pretty weird to me considering the news that we got today. Because if you're not aware, we have FOMC minutes today. And it was pretty much reassuring that yeah, rate cuts are coming in September. Don't worry. The Fed is all in agreement that we're going to get those rate cuts in September, and we barely reacted to that news. And so that leads me to believe that one or two things is happening here. Either one, we're just waiting on more data. Maybe we're just waiting on more data to come in. We have unemployment claims tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern. We have flash manufacturing PMI at 9:45 Eastern. Maybe we're just waiting on more data. But even so, the whole point in the rally from last time I checked is rate cuts. So you would think we would get a much better reaction. I would think we would at least see 20K. I mean, at least that much. But the market doesn't care about what I think. And so the second option here is that maybe we already priced in a lot of this information. Maybe we priced in most of it. I wouldn't even say a lot. Maybe we just priced in most of this information that's already came in. So those are my two options here. Now, don't get me wrong. I still think we're going to see a little bit more upside. We still need to mitigate this fair value gap at around 20,300, 20,500, And I wouldn't be surprised we see that happen tomorrow. But from there, it gets really, really tough to see us go higher. And I know everyone's talking about all-time highs. It's very much possible. But for now, it's really tough for me to see that. And we're going to get into that in a bit. We look at the ES, we're pretty much looking at the same thing. And like the NASDAQ, we're still at these liquidity zones that I talked about in the last video. We haven't really gone anywhere, like I said before. As you guys can see, we're within this daily supply and demand zone. We are pretty much at turbulence. So we're going to need news to either break to the upside or break to the downside. And I imagine the news we get tomorrow, between tomorrow and Friday, is going to be the catalyst that causes those movements, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. And so sure, we broke above 5630, but we just really haven't gone anywhere. And my next target for the ES, by the way, is 5680. But we still just haven't really done anything, right? And that concerns me. And so the major thing that I really want to point out to you guys, and I think the Discord members are going to like this because they're in VIX calls. We all got into like this random agreement, like, hey, let's jump into some VIX calls. And yeah, so we're pretty much doing that. But the VIX, this is what I want to go over here. The VIX. And I want you, this is the part where I really, if you don't pay attention to anything else in this video, pay attention to this part. So we're going to go to the 4-hour time frame on the VIX. And I really want you guys to remember what I'm saying here. So 4-hour time frame, we have three fair value gaps that needs to be mitigated that's left open right now. The first one is around 17.5, $18, give or take. The next one is around 21, $22, give or take, maybe 20. And then the next one after that is at around 26 to 27, between 26 $28 on the VIX. These three fair value gaps need to be mitigated at some point in time. We look at the daily time frame. Pretty much the same thing on the daily time frame. Got to give it time to load, but they're here. Okay, right here, fair value gap between 17 and 18. Fair value gap between 20 and 23. Right? Remember these, and really remember the one I said as far as the 26. Now we go to an options chain, which is unusual wells. We go to today. What happened today? Today, there's nothing but VIX calls coming in. And I know you guys can't see the premium, but you just got to trust me here. Okay. VIX calls. 24 calls for November 20th, 2024, $5 million premium. 31 calls. October 16th. I know Discord members are like salivating because at this right now. But 31 calls. No puts for today. No puts at all, guys. Okay, keep that in mind. August 20th, which was yesterday, right? Nothing but calls. Two puts. Big deal, right? All over $1 million premiums, except for the ones that's in the money. Okay. 42.5 calls. This is for next year, 6.15 million premium. 30 calls. Okay, 30 strike calls. October 16th. Remember, I said in the last video, a lot of calls are coming in for September and October, or a lot of puts. I believe I said a lot of puts are coming in as far as IWM and a lot of other things for September and October. Because why? September and October is notoriously bearish in the market. But pay attention to these dates. October 16th, calls. October 16th, 29 calls, 3.25 million premium. This has a 500K premium, 80 call. I don't think we're going to see 80, but I mean, actually, we could. It's October. We already seen 65. Why not 80? Right? So 35 calls. December 18th. All right. I hope you guys are getting the point here. We'll go back one more day just in case it's not clicking. Okay. Nothing but calls. For the day before, August 19th, nothing but calls. We have 27 calls. Remember, there's a fair value gap at 27. 2.26 million. I don't know. Okay, if that doesn't ring a bell here, I don't know what else to say. Now, I want you guys to also remember, expirations don't matter. Expirations are just about getting cheap contracts or maybe to gauge when something is potentially going to happen. Okay, I want you guys to remember that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because just because VIX calls are all the way in October doesn't mean it has to happen in October. It can happen tomorrow. Okay, it can happen tomorrow. Trust me. I use the options chain all the time. A lot of these calls that's like super far out or 2 months out, they end up happening like a week or two later, if a little bit more or less. All right. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. So you can look at this and be like, oh well, we got plenty of time. We got all the way into October. The market's just going to keep flying up to then. I'm telling you now, that's usually not the case. All right. A lot of times this is just to get cheaper or more safe contracts. Hedge funds, institutions, they are cheap. They like to play it safe, just like you should. Okay. So I will say that much. All right. So that's something I really wanted to get you guys' attention with in regards to the VIX. The VIX looks like it wants to go higher, and I do think we potentially have one more pump before that happens. Whether that pump is tomorrow or I don't know, Friday, whatever the case may be, I still think we have more pump, and then I do think something bad is going to happen. How bad? I don't know. Bad Bad can be perspective. It can be some overreaction news. It could be war. It could be Jerome Powell pretty much saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, rate cuts ain't gonna happen, guys. It could be whatever. It could be whatever. All right. So I just urge caution here. I know you guys are tired of me saying this, but I urge caution. If that options chain, and I encourage you guys to start using options chain. All right. If you are not trading with an options chain, you are trading with one eye closed. I'm sorry, you just are. You're trading with one eye closed. You do not want to win. All right, because this tells you what institutions are doing, what they are trading, how they are trading, so on and so forth, and how much money they are putting into these trades. So if you're just trading, you're pretty much just you're literally trading with one eye closed. That's what I tell traders all the time. All right, so get you an options chain. So in regards to the VIX, like I said, there's not much else to go over. But in regards to the VIX, I do think it is possible. Okay, it is possible that we see one more move to the downside. Potentially, there's a little gap down here at around 15.14, which will probably lead to our, last pump, last potential pump before we potentially start heading higher on the VIX and start really mitigating these fair value gaps. All right. Can we head lower? Sure. But right now, the VIX is respecting the 200 daily SMA. So it's always funny when people say, you can't plot the VIX. The VIX doesn't, it's always funny when people say that. But I mean, it's bounced off the 200 daily SMA here. It's bounced off the 200 daily SMA here. In fact, it's consolidated and then bounced. Consolidated and then bounced. So it's respecting this 200 daily SMA. If it revisits here one more time and bounces, I think that's when the drop is coming. Not the drop of all drops that I've been talking about, but I do think we're going to see a drop at that point. All right. So something to really pay attention to. I think the VIX is priming up for a big move to the upside. All right. So hopefully, that gets you guys attention. Hopefully we're paying attention. If you didn't pay attention to anything else in this video, pay attention to that part. All right. And you can click off right now if you want to. I don't care. All right. Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks good. I said Bitcoin price target for Bitcoin, as long as it stays above 58K, it can head to 63K, and it looks like it wants to do that. And then after that, you're looking at 65K. Okay. that's all I have for Bitcoin. We have an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. I think it's invalidated, but it looks like it's still playing out. So we'll see. All right, but this is a huge volume candle, so I do imagine Bitcoin is going to want to head higher, most likely tomorrow, and we'll see what happens from there. But I mean, that's pretty much in regards to our Discord, right? First off, congratulations to everybody in the Discord who took Target earnings play. We made us a nice bag. So this guy, he turned $500 into $3,500 trading Target. I alerted 160 calls for Target yesterday. I mean, I can show you guys why I played Target. It wasn't like a guess or anything like that. Um, this guy right here, he did a different play with Target, I believe. He did 152.5 calls. You know, he just wanted the bigger bag. Completely understood. This guy right here, he made about 1,286 off the Target calls. And then me, myself, I made about 3K off the Target calls. So you guys can see it here, 160 calls. I alerted this yesterday. Target had earnings today, so absolute killing. And then we took profit at open. And so just so we can go over Target, because a lot of people say you can't plot earnings. I think you can. It's just a matter of the only issue with earnings is that you can potentially get IV crushed, or good earnings can come in, but then the market reacts weirdly to it. So, in regards to Target, we go to the weekly time frame. There is a inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. So you have your and I honestly might have to buy shares on Target because it just really looks good. You have your shoulder here, your head here, and then you have another shoulder here. That was a no-brainer. Um, this resistance, not this resistance, this support here is monthly support as well. So it was pretty much a no-brainer. And then if Target breaks this neckline at around, I would say 180, 190 range, then this thing is going to go absolutely ballistic. Like insane. Okay, absolutely insane. So, definitely keep your eyes on Target. Congratulations to all the Discord members who played Target earnings. Absolute beast of a play. And that's really up much. That's really all I have. Discord link is in the description below if you want more plays like this. Um, and that's all I have, guys. So just really be careful for the rest of this week, maybe the rest of August, because something seems like it's going to come. You guys know how I feel about how fast we're moving right now. Things are slowing down, but I just still hate how this V-shaped recovery is looking. Okay. And right now, it seems like we're creating some type of structure. So that's a decent sign. But still, be cautious. And until the next video, traders, have a good one.